Welcome everybody to TopLine's Live at 5. My name is Brian Devine here with TopLine, and today we're going to be talking about, is your practice ready for good marketing? That might sound like a strange question to ask because good marketing, obviously the whole point is to get your phone to ring. Now, the point of good marketing, getting your phone to ring, believe it or not, that is a conversation that we can have another day, because a lot of times when we ask, what is the goal? What are we trying to achieve? We're hoping that the goal is to get the phone to ring and get new patients through the door. But sometimes the goals are a little more abstract and it gets hard to be able to pinpoint and make sure that we're giving our clients what they need. So for me today, the goal for good marketing is to get your phone to ring so that new patients come to the door on a nice and regular, steady basis. That's the ultimate. That's what we're trying to achieve for all of our clients. Now, the reason that I'm bringing up the question of, are you ready for that, is because through conversations that we've been having lately with current clients, with new clients, clients that we've been talking about coming back on board with us, the question that we are finding is more important than ever is, are you ready to handle the new patient phone calls, to handle that new patient flow? When we run these types of campaigns and we start getting the phone to ring, we like to record every one of those phone calls. And we don't do it because we want to point the finger and say, gotcha, you didn't do that right. No, we do that because we want to be able to say, hey, I think we need to do a little more training on this side. When the phone rings, how are we answering it? And you'd be surprised at how little training tends to go into the simple act of answering the phone. And that has got to be one of the most important things that you do in your practice, and it gets overlooked all the time. Simply saying the name of the practice and can I help you is not enough anymore. We live in a world where there is so much competition and people are working so much harder than ever before to create an experience for that new patient, that if you aren't doing that, you're in trouble, because somebody is going to come along and they're going to start taking those patients from you. And I'm not trying to, rain on your parade. What I want you thinking about is, what are your systems and processes in your practice right now? And are they solid enough that if you started to see an increase in new patient phone calls, that you'd be able to turn those into new patients? They wouldn't just be calls that kind of got left to do nothing. And as we go through these calls and we say, hey, I think let's do a little more training. We have all of this training available to our clients and to the staff so that they can learn all of these things and get better at answering the phones and get better at how to turn a new patient call into a patient. The reason that this is so important is when you are typically working with referrals, which are the best. We want you to get those referrals. We don't want those to ever go away because those are the best. But referrals, they call and they say, hey, someone just told me that you're great and I'd like to make an appointment. So that's all you have to do. Just don't screw that up, right? But when you have somebody that is fishing around, they don't have a home yet, they don't know where they're going to be going, they need to know that this is going to be a good place for them to land. And that means when you answer the phone with some energy. You answer the phone consistently, you say your name, and then pretty much no matter what the person on the other end starts to ask or question or talk about, you ask what their name is so that you can now address them by name, that you can have a real conversation using their name, and then also say, hey, and before I get too far along here, can I get your phone number just in case we get disconnected or if a patient comes up and I need to call you back? Now you have their name and their phone number, and you can call them back at any time. Now, most people nowadays, they're calling on cell phones, and calls get dropped. And now they're busy, and maybe they're not going to call you right back. Well, if you didn't ask for their name and their phone number, you don't have any way to get back to them. And I know that you're probably going, oh, no, we do that. We absolutely do that. And most offices that I work with have some kind of a sheet in front of them where that's what they're supposed to do. But as we go through these calls, we realize it's not being done. And it's not that the front desk is bad or wrong or doing something inappropriate. They just haven't been trained on how to do it. Or it has been so long since they've been trained that they've kind of forgotten about some of these basic institutions. They are vital, okay? And I know that I'm talking about this one piece of your practice and how is, if it is ready to take on those new calls, because we hear enough of these calls that we know when we get the phone to ring, it doesn't always go well. So if we are getting you 5, 8, 10 new patient calls and you're not turning any of them into either appointments or new patients, we've got a real problem, and it's not because the leads are bad, it's because you don't have a system in place in order to make sure that those calls get turned into patients. And that's what I mean by, are you ready for good marketing? If you start to see that new patient flow start to increase, if those phone calls are coming in, do you have a system to not only handle that first call, but to make sure that you can get back in touch with them? Maybe you even have what we call a shock and awe package that immediately gets sent out to them so that they know you're serious about taking good care of them and their health. And all of those things should be in place so that whenever a new lead comes in, you've got a good maybe 70, 80% chance of turning them into a patient. Now, a referral, 80% off the bat without you doing anything, is very likely and probably 100%, right? We're just calling to say, hey, I'm glad somebody said you're great and I'm coming. Now, these are a little bit different, and I want you to think about that process. And if you need some help, you have some questions, you'd like to hear more about the process, I'm happy to go through it and walk you through all the different ways that we help clients get better at that process and even do a little bit of training. So if you'd like to see more of that, please let me know. I'd be happy to do it. It's a lot of fun, and it can really have a huge impact on the growth of your practice. All right, that's it for me. Let me know what questions you have, how we can be of support, and I look forward to seeing you next time on TopLine's Live at 5. That's it for me. Bye for now.